welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to present to your faculties. So it is definitely my pleasure to be a part of this program. So without further delay, I will start my presentation. So as you know, this is about the future of construction, and it's an automation in the construction field. It's about a concrete 3D printing. So let me start my presentation. Yeah. So I think recently. One of the proudest moments for India is that we launched our India's first 3D printed house some 1 month back, and it was inaugurated by our Finance Minister, Honorable Nirmala Sitharaman, Madam. One good thing about this technology is that we developed the machine in-house, and we developed the software materials, and we 3D printed the house modules completely in-house. So going by what the government wants, we are completely an Atmanirbhar, like completely made in India startup. So we are proud to share that with you here. Like, our recent 3D printed house was inaugurated. I hope Malayalam Manorama and few other journals in Kerala as well covered it. So yeah, so I would like to start my presentation. Yeah, so what we do is that we have the company Twasta, which means creation in Sanskrit. So we are an IIT Madras alumni-based startup who has their core research in 3D printing. So if you look at the world, everywhere they have their own machines, and they kind of they research in 3D printing. But in India, we import the machines and then we do the 3D printing. So we wanted to change that. We wanted to develop our own machines. We want to develop our own software and materials research, and then we want to 3D print it. So Twasta's idea is to build platforms and application solutions using 3D printing. So it has been 4 years, not just concrete. We have also been working on 3D printing several other materials like metals, plastics, ceramics, and composites. So we have been working with all the different materials, and we have tried to 3D print it. So if you look at the company, we wanted to focus on deep tech R&D. So that is our the nature of our company. As you know, right, 3D printing has been like a much hyped technology in the past 15 to 20 years. It initially started out like a prototyping technology wherein you can make the prototypes using 3D printing in plastics. You call it FDM machines. But nowadays, I think it has pushed the technology, and there are 27 different 3D printing technologies. When we say 3D printing, it's not just a single technology. That is a slight misunderstanding in our part. There are different technologies in 3D printing, while FDM is one of the technologies. So as you see, 3D printing is nothing but a layer by layer deposition of the material in order to produce a physical object. So that is about it. Once you give the CAD file of it, the slicer converts the CAD file to G codes, and the G codes will kind of translate the machine movements. And once the material is given, it starts manufacturing the object. That is how the 3D printing works. So critical aspect of any 3D printing technology is first the machine. So you need to have the machine in place. So I am now relating it to more in terms of concrete 3D printer. So in concrete 3D printer, there are two types of machines. One is gantry based and another is robotic arm based. Robotic arm has 7 to 8 axes of rotation, or 7 to 8 axes of movement, whereas the gantry has 3 axes, X, Y, and Z. So Twasta has built a gantry system which can be used to 3D print the concrete. And even in the gantry, there are two modes. One is offsite 3D printer, and second is onsite 3D printer. An offsite 3D printer is nothing but you have the machine in the factory, and then you 3D print the modules in the factory, and then you ship the modules to the site, and then you assemble it on site. So this is one model of the machine. Second is an on-site 3D printer, wherein you take the machine and transport the machine itself to the site, and then you 3D print the building there. Exactly. So Twasta has the first 3D printed house was built using off-site 3D printing, but we are also working on an on-site 3D printing machine currently. So that is one thing. And material. So if you look at it normally, right, we have we move the traditional construction method has been done by brick and then having the mortar around it and then building using it. But here, we have a very different way of building the the structure. So when we say material, it is still a concrete material, but it has special properties like it has the it should be extrudable and it should be buildable. Extrudable, as you know, right? Concrete is a non-Newtonian fluid. It has the properties like it can turn solid when the pressure is removed, and it can act as a liquid when the pressure is applied. We have developed this technology completely taking advantage of this behavior of concrete. So the concrete we have developed, it consists of basic materials like the sand, cement, fly ash, and few other proprietary admixtures that will bring in the property of extrudability and printability. So printability, when I mean it, the first layer is 3D printed. On top of it, the next layer needs to be printed. On top of it, you can say 100 layers are deposited on top of it. The bottommost layer should bear the weight of the 100 layers. We have designed, or we have researched and we have designed the material in such a way. And the software. So software, what essentially it does here is it takes the input file in CAD format, but we are also trying to input directly the BIM format, which is generally used in construction. So it takes the input as the file, it slices it. When I say slices it, it kind of converts it into a language wherein the machine can understand. So generally humans, right? So we understand Malayalam, we understand Tamil, we understand Telugu. In such a way, I think machines understand G-code, and that is a very unique language that we need to communicate. So our software communicates to the 3D printer in a G-code with the input file. So that is the essential function that it does. And printing strategy. So one biggest advantage with the concrete printing is that you can build hollow walls using this technology. So when I say hollow walls, internally you can bring in a lot of electrical lines, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing lines, and you can integrate it while printing itself. So printing strategy is also something very critical. So imagine while making the house itself, you plan the plumbing lines, electrical lines, and so that while making itself, you give the clearances for all, so that once the house is assembled, you just need to switch on to the plug and it starts like it's a plug and play house. So that is what we do in printing. Yeah. And what is our idea with respect to building this technology? We want to automate the construction process. So mostly, if you look at it, right, the construction process takes 6 to 8 months of time. If you look at it, mainly it is because of the labor dependency. Like we need to equip our labor from unskilled to semi-skilled. But I think mostly we have a lot of quality issues because the labors, like we need a lot of skilled labors to do it. And it takes a lot of time. So we have a lot of labor dependency here. You could have seen in this COVID situation, mostly laborers from different parts of the country are required to carry out a construction process, in absence of which the complete projects will stall. It will not move. So our idea is that we need to automate the process, which will reduce the labor dependency. So what we are doing is, it is also a most important point to notice, we are not eliminating the labor. We are just making them from unskilled to semi-skilled. Say for instance, in an area where 200 people, 200 laborers are required, we reduce it to around 20, and then they work it out efficiently in a way that in a matter of one project with 6 to 8 months, they can work on 5 to 6 projects. So literally our house took 3 weeks to 3D print and assemble it. So look at the time limit that I'm talking about. You can get your houses in less than 3 weeks. So in a way, we push the productivity. We can build more houses in a particular time, and that is what our technology is about. We want the customers to buy their houses in such a way that they have been purchasing cars and bikes. Once you want to place a car, you'll need to book it and you need to give an advance, and then in a matter of 1 month you will get your car. So we want the house purchase also to be done in such a way. So that is the main aim in which we build this technology. So different applications of it, right? One is toilets, like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. It requires a lot of toilets and it emphasizes on the hygiene of the environment. So it can be easily made using 3D printing. 3D printing advantage is that you can customize it accordingly. Generally, a matchbox or a straight structure is being done. Instead, we can go for curved walls. We can explore more designs that can be done. And then houses, of course, we are targeting affordable houses for all in long term. We are working with Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. That is one thing. And then we also are looking at different segments of housing: premium segment, affordable segment, and then infrastructure projects, several things. And then nation separate elements. We are also offering 3D printed concrete chairs, right? 3D printed concrete furnitures, chairs, architectural elements. So using this technology, we are working with different applications. So these are our founders there from IIT Madras, Aditya, Vidyashankar, and Parivartan. So yeah. So this is the first ever structure that we did in 2018. This is India's first 3D printed structure. You can say it like a proof of concept structure, which is inside civil department. And this is the first printed house, which is just plastered, right? So without painting, this is how it looks like. So this is a 500 square feet house, which was done in 3 weeks. It took us some 5 to 6 days to 3D print it, and then 2 weeks to assemble it. So it took around overall 3 weeks to do it. So this is how it looks like after finishing. So this is the interior of the house, right? It has beautiful interiors. It has a curved wall. So what we have done here is we have directly also given the raw 3D printed finish and also the final finish of the house, after plastering and painting. I can take it towards a short video. I hope you have also seen it in Malayalam Manorama, but I am just giving it for the reference who had missed out. So this is how the entire house was made. You first prepare the mix and then you pump it to the 3D printer and then you start printing layer by layer. The software controls the entire process. So I will slightly go and explain the different stages in concrete printing. First is the model design, and then once you design it, you'll have to input to the software, which will in turn slice it to the G codes, and then parallelly you'll have to make the concrete mix, and then fourth, once the mix is prepared, it is pumped into the 3D printer, and then finally the model is being printed. So that is what is the process flow. So what you're seeing is our factory. We have hosted a machine, big machine, right? So the machine is like 2.5 meters in x-axis and 4.5 meters in y-axis and 1.5 meters in z-axis. So I would also like to take an opportunity to tell if any research institutions, they are interested. We have also a product offering, say an R&D 3D printer, which will be in the dimensions 1 meter cross 1 meter cross 0.5. So we have sold 4 machines overall to government colleges and other institutions who have a major advantage on the civil side, who want to push the boundaries. So we will build a machine, something similar, so that the institutions, research institutions, do their research, in the concrete printing, and we support them with their research, so that the college, the university gets more research papers. So I'll be more than glad if any of the staff or any of the your research interest aligns with the concrete printing, 3D printing, and I'll be more than happy to help you out in this entire thing. So so this is coming back to the presentation. This is the factory. What we do is, like, we also integrate the steel reinforcements while printing or after printing. So that gives a structural application. Yeah. So so what we have done is we have also 3D printed a roof, and we have experimented. So this is how it will look like. And this is our production concrete printer. So we kind of 3D print several modules and then cure it. And then once it is cured, we'll take it to the site and we'll assemble it. Yeah. So this is just the plan of the 3D printed house that we did. I think it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. Yeah, so pretty some straightforward details is that it is like 460 square feet house. It was done using offsite 3D printing. Mostly IIT Madras, Habitat for Humanity, and Twasta did it together. So I will walk you through some architectural and structural elements that we did it apart from housing projects. So as I told, that there are like vertical steel reinforcements. There are also horizontal chicken mesh, or we also use a lot of steel horizontal reinforcements that can be done in each layer to increase the strength. And this is a 3D printed roof. What you're seeing is a curved wall, which is directly joined by mortar. And this is the 3D printed finish that we are talking about. Yeah. So as I touched upon earlier, so what India needs is a affordable, sustainable, and a speedy solution. So I think time is a very important factor. People, if their house takes 6 to 8 months of time, there is a lot of capital that goes into it. So I think when we are talking about like 10 times reduction in lead time, that is a great value addition to the people. And then sustainable, of course. I think Dr. Anita Jacob ma'am mentioned about the sustainable materials or the mixes that can be used in construction. So that is also a very, very good upcoming research area. We are putting a lot of efforts there, like, to how to make a sustainable material mixes in 3D printing. And affordable, of course, 3D printing definitely has a very good chance to compete with other technologies, because it eliminates the material waste and it eliminates the labor dependency to a great extent, and it also offers a speedy solution. So in that way, I think we will be able to reduce a lot of cost with respect to the construction. Yeah. So what you're saying is like a proof to say that construction industry has not adopted automation for the past 60 years compared to the other industries. Yeah. So why India needs a solution like a concrete 3D printing is that currently we are running out of a house shortage of 49 million houses. So we have promised to build 100 million houses by 2030, but with our current existing technology, we will not even be able to deliver 20% of it. So with the technologies like 3D printing, precast, and traditional coming together and executing, only then we will at least be there at least in 60 to 70% of the demand. And wastage, as I told you, like we incur a lot of wastage, and which in turn emits the greenhouse gases, and then brings in a lot of negative impacts. So with productivity rates being dependent on the labor, I think that is one key area wherein we need the automation. So the productivity will increase by 10x once we bring in the concrete 3D printing. And also affordability, right? So I think, as I told, once we start making affordable houses, it will be a very great solution for the people of India. So advantage of concrete printing, I would like to put it in a very clear way. So one thing is that 3D printing as a construction technology itself, it kind of can bring in customization. So you can bring in any designs. You don't have restrictions over the designs. So that is one thing. And then the speed is another value addition. The third is that, as I told you, you can explore hollow walls, which is not possible using any other construction technologies. And you can integrate the electrical, plumbing, and mechanical wiring lines using this 3D printing directly. And then last, what I could think of is that, sustainability. You can use different material mixes, you can customize the mixes, and then you can make it more sustainable. These are a few advantages of the concrete printing. Yeah. So this is just a comparison of the traditional and the 3D printed. Yeah. So Twasta has probably the expertise in machining, materials, software, and civil engineering. We are doing extensive testing with some government institutions, and we are also incubated by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, an accelerator to work on concrete 3D printing. So, and as far as I told, we are in partnership with a lot of Tier 1 institutions, and we have sold 4 to 5 R&D printers to government institutions, and we, in turn, we help them do their research in concrete printing. And apart from that, we are also working closely with architects, builders, and cement manufacturers closely and stuff. Yeah, so these are some awards and accomplishments. We even presented it to the central government, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, in 2019. Look at our team, right? It is having people of different backgrounds, from mechanical to software to electronics to materials, and that is what is driving the company. And yeah, so I think that's the end of the presentation. Feel free to ask if you have any questions. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I had a few questions.
Yeah. So material is a concrete, straightforward concrete mix that you can make. So it is like a paste. You will have to completely mix it in a pan mixer, and then you will have to add water. So it consists of dry mix and wet mix. So that is one thing. Different material options. Probably we have experimented using soil, but we don't get consistency out of it. So that is one thing. And then there are a lot of other options like sustainable hemp-based concrete mixes. So that is one thing which is going. Main thing is like concrete, right? So the basic concrete can be done, but it has to be researched in a particular way and can be done. concrete. Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, yeah. So I see questions coming up in the session. So I'll address it one by one. So what we have done with respect to the foundations is that we did the foundations manually, at least in the first housing. So foundations we can 3D print it, but I think it is straightforward. So we did it using conventional, and then the roofs we did it using precast. So if you look at it, some straight structures we have done it with whatever the strength of it. Like if you say that for foundation the conventional method works well, we adopt it. And for roof, it is a straight structure. So 3D printing a roof doesn't make much of a difference. So what we have done it is that we have probably done it in the straight way. So that is about it. And how much is the cost of a printer? So I would like the company. Sorry for the inconvenience. My power got cut. So yeah, sorry about it. Yeah, so I will address the questions one by one, but my chat box it refreshed. So can you please, any one of you can you ask the questions that was put in the chat box, so that then I can answer it one by one.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, what about the mixed proportions? And how means you showed just only one floor building, and how many floors of buildings can be made?
Yeah, so currently we are experimenting the on-site 3D printing methodology in which we can go multi-story. Currently we are planning to do a single-story structure, which is a 5,000 square feet project. So it can be done. And coming back to mixed design proportions, I don't think we can give because it's a proprietary information. But what I can tell is that it consists of cement, sand, and fly ash and other admixtures. So which will give the necessary strength. For instance, they say 40 MPa. So we designed the mix in such a way that it can withstand the strength. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. It is possible. So you just like, you need to take a section of it and then we'll need to perform the test. That is what IIT Madras has been helping us with. Yeah, so that is one thing. And I hear a lot of questions about the cost. So what I would say is like there is a lot of indirect cost savings, right? For instance, look at say, it takes about 6 to 8 months, and look at the number of labors involved. So our model, right? What we do is we don't directly deal with the customers. So we work with the construction companies in executing their project. So how it works is that we speeden up their process, or we kind of bring in a lot of value addition in terms of labor dependency and then the process. So you like at least like at this point itself, it doesn't make much sense to compare it like very apple to apple comparison, because the technology is different, and then you can't, right from day one, you can't compare it like an apple to apple. So my suggestion is that in long term, the idea is to go much below the conventional or give a competitive price compared to the conventional cost. But at this point, it is a new technology and it will take some time for us to be there. And so cost of the printer, that's what, again, it is a commercial. Probably if at all, if there is something like an R&D machine that you want, I can definitely disclose the cost of that. Otherwise, I think I will be able to do it once we have any discussion going on in Solid. So so compare this with maximum height per day or curing. So we maximum height per day as in nothing like that. We have with our current machine, we have a height limitation of 1.5 meters. So we can go up to 90% of that. And then what we do is that we build it in modules. And then curing, we have a special admixture which will help in hardening the concrete faster. Conventionally, as you know, right, it takes 3 to 4 weeks for the normal concrete to cure. But here we are having a special accelerator which will cure it in a day. So to answer your question, it takes a day. And roof slab is precast as of now, but it can also be 3D printed. That is the answering to Mr. Sendil Kumar. So cost-wise comparison, I get a lot of questions again and again. So the answer is like in long term it will be competitive, but as of now, you can't expect it to be a very economical process, right? And what is the thickness of the wall? So it is again customized. 150 mm is like you can say is the thickness of the wall. But I think we have different nozzles and different shapes which can customize the wall shapes accordingly. And mixed proportion of the paste, obviously it is proprietary, we can't reveal. And any size limitation in terms of coarse aggregate, that is a very good question. So we could say that there are two systems. One is a 2 mm aggregate system, and then 6 to 8 mm aggregate system. We offer both the aggregate systems for doing it. So what type of accelerator is used? Again, it is a patent. We are bound by a patent. Probably I'll be more than happy to help you if at all you can. Probably if your university is purchasing an R&D concrete machine or something, we'll be more than happy to help you out with your research. So all the parts of structure are built with, it's concrete. It's again a concrete which is 3D printable version. Precast blocks could be done. No, as in the idea is like you can do a prefab structure, but the blocks, I don't see a point in 3D printing precast blocks. You can either do a complete structure using it. There is no use of 3D printing a precast block. That is my thing. And any other questions? heat emissions. Okay, so yeah, since it is a hollow wall, right? Probably the heat resistance is slightly better. Like I understand that generally concrete has a it absorbs heat, and then it is definitely not advisable to be used in heat. But here, we use hollow walls, so it reduces the heat pretty much compared to the conventional one. So what about the possibility of using recycled concrete? How to finally finish the surface? Yeah, that is a very good question. So recycled concrete can be used, but as I told, it has to be, we use a certain mix ratio, and then we use a certain admixtures. So once if it is following that, I think there is no issue with using the recycled concrete. And the surface finish, what we do is that we plaster it and then we kind of finish it, and then we paint it on top of the concrete, the raw finish that you get. Yeah. And does each layer has reinforcements are mentioned about laying reinforcement horizontally and vertically? So reinforcements again depends on your end application. So there are some non-structural applications where we don't use reinforcements at all, which will give a strength of say 20 to 25 MPa. But if you want reinforcements, I think we can definitely accommodate the reinforcements and we can make it structurally sound. That can be done. Any cracks? So this is now, the house is being once habitable. We'll have to evaluate that. It is not just a one-time activity. It is we'll have to evaluate that probably upcoming point. The upcoming time. So as of now, no cracks. But going forward, in 2 or 3 years, if there are cracks, I think we'll have to find a way to address it. So what about the chemical attacking behavior of the structure? So I would say the answer is pretty much whatever the concrete is there, it applies that to here as well. If you say that whatever the properties that the concrete exhibits, that same applies here as well, right? What about the durability? Durability is good 70 to 80 years, compared to conventional, where the trainings for labor are given, semi-skilled labor. So see, it works in this way. Our startup builds the machine for the construction company or architectural firm or government. What they do is they have their own laborers, and they will have to. We give the training for the company to use the machine and execute the projects. So it works that way. So and then they execute probably customers' projects. That is how it is being done. Is it only suitable for high-cost buildings, meaning high budget? That's what, as of now, you can take it we are doing premium structures, but probably in a matter of 2 to 3 years, it will be economical. And it can be used for using affordable housing as well. Say 900 to 1,000 rupees per square feet. I'm just giving an idea for you. Please don't, stick on to the numbers. Say 2 to 3 years down the line, we will be able to be there in the competitive edge. And bonding between each layers, especially in case of wall and roof. Yeah, so interlayer bonding, it has been tested. It is definitely strong. And in case of wall and roof, what we do is that roof, we do a precasted, we precast the concrete. So I think we do all the interlayer bonding testing and everything, and then only we have assembled it. Can do realtor in electric and plumbing lines? I didn't get the question. Can do realtor in electric and plumbing lines? Mr. C.G. Thomas, if you can clarify your question.
Do re-altering.
Oh, altering. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very good question. So that is not possible, as in once you kind of give a line, right? Once we give a clearance, that is slightly, you will have to go by that. But I think we can take that particular module and then we can probably work around it. So then the entire arrangement has to be worked out. So I would say it is better to not alter it or something once it is being done. Yeah. So to construct the first house, how much quantity of time and cost incurred? As I told, 3 weeks, and cost, I would say cost is I can definitely disclose it once there is any commercial interest from you. Like, not supposed to be releasing the cost at this point of time. Yeah. So please compare it with the prefabricated building. So as to compare it, I think the offsite 3D printing is almost similar to precast. It is just that use a tooling cost, and here there is no tooling cost required. So once you put a tool, you'll have to make 1,000 same pieces, but here you can make 1,000 different pieces. So I would say that is the advantage of concrete printing. Yeah, 3D printer. Yeah. Yeah. Is all grades of cement suitable for this, and what about the size of aggregate? Size of aggregate as of now, 2 mm aggregates, 2 mm works perfectly fine. And cement, yeah, I think we use a particular quantity Portland cement, so that should work. We want any future alteration in the building, is that possible? No, not major. Probably that applies the same to what you are doing in the conventional house as well. If you need a major alteration, I think we will need to rework the entire structures, and so there will be a lot of work that is there. What about the coding that you mentioned for printing? Thanks, that is a very interesting question. See, what we do is that there is something called BIM file. So we input the BIM file directly to the system, and then that converts the BIM file data, the structural data, and then it converts it into the machine understandable code, so that it starts printing in the language that the machine understands. So our software does the job of converting the format from the BIM to G codes. So that is it. Does that answer your question, ma'am? Yeah, no, the software is pretty much, it is done. We have the software already. So it is just that you will have to, every time you input the model there, it has to slice it, and then it has to send the communication to the 3D printer. Yeah, so currently we are working in 3 to 4 projects. Wherein we'll be doing a multi-story structure. It is being done for a non-government organization, 5,000 square feet G+1 structure. And once that is done, we are planning to do some projects for military and then government. And we are planning to make some probably shelters, or say also cottage kind of a thing in a hilly area to evaluate the structure. So we are doing a lot of projects. Say we can say next 1 year we are 3D printing something close to 1 lakh square feet. So yeah, we are taking up, but we have not commercialized it. Probably after a year we will commercialize it and then tell how a customer can avail our building. Yeah. Yeah, are you planning to give the machine on rent as well? Yeah, definitely we will be more interested to do it. We are planning something on the lines of identifying the collaborators in each geography. For instance, in Kerala, we will identify our collaborators, and if you want to get your individual houses, you'll have to go through them. They will be taking using the construction concrete 3D printer, and they'll be executing the machine orders. So if you go to them, you will be able to get your orders done. So we will work out a model with them, but the idea is we will identify people for each geography going forward. Research scope of this area, that is a very good question. So one is the material development, sustainable material mixers, and then structural properties, that is one. So material development is one thing, and then structural validation is another thing. And then parameter optimization is one area. So there are different areas which you can do, out of which I can think of 3 or 4 areas as of now. No, not waste plastic alone. It just constitutes less than 1% or 0.5% of the mix. But as you know, right, the structural mix should consist of, sand, cement. So how are we going to bring in that strength is something, the challenge. Yeah. I'll be more glad if your college is able to give an answer for that using our machine. So we'll be more than glad if there is any research interest from your college. Yeah. So how will you connect the foundation with the superstructure? No, I think however it is being done conventionally, right? That is how we are also doing. Like nothing, special. Like normal foundation, how it is being laid. I think I showed you the video, right? So we just once on top of foundation itself, we will come and fix it, right? So we'll come and it has some temporary joint. We paste it by mortar, and then we do it. Yeah. What do you think about the future of construction industry apart from 3D printing? Yeah, that is a very good question. So apart from 3D printing, I think there are a lot of automation machines. Like say automatic plastering machine is one thing, and then there are a lot of energy efficient buildings which uses very minimum power to once the building is there, it runs on a minimal power. So solar, it takes power from solar. It is designed to operate out of a very minimal power. So that is one very good area which can be in future of construction. So you use IoT, you use machine learning, you use 3D printing, combination of all these to in the construction to do it. That is one thing. And there's a very interesting question from your college, like how academic institutions can associate with our startup. So that is what I'm suggesting. We have a specialized machine for research institutions. So the bed size is close to 1,000 meters cross 1,000 meters cross 1,000 meters cross 0.5 meters. So what you can do is you can do basic material testing. You can do basic like a small component out of it, and you can do all these things in that machine, and then you can publish research papers. So once you come up with some finding of it, if it needs to be commercialized, I think we can be the commercial partner of it. You can be the research partner. So you'll have to take the machine and do research, and then you will have to also, the more research papers you publish, the more credibility for your research institutions. So that is one thing. Is there any miniature model machine for academic purpose? Yeah, we do have. Yeah, we do have the machine. I think I'll be able to give more details probably, if you send me the contact person, or if you can contact me, I can send more details about that. It is a very interesting proposal. How AI and IoT going to play their role in construction industry? Yeah, I think that is slightly, IoT, obviously, Internet of Things, being in a centralized area and being able to automate things. So that is self-explanatory by itself. So if at all, from here, if you're able to pour the concrete, automatically pour the concrete to your buildings, and then if you're able to plaster it automatically at a disposal of buttons, that is the value add that we're talking about, right? So yeah.